Deputy Schulteis, would you kindly begin the proceedings?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Pursuant to the Governor's executive order, the Governor has made a disaster declaration in response to COVID-19 in accordance with 5 ILCS 127E. The head of the public body has determined that an in-person meeting of all the individual council members under the Open Meetings Act is not practical or prudent. The Chief Administrative Officer, Joe Wade, will attend in person. The council members of the public may continue to attend the meeting virtually via Zoom as attendance in the board is not feasible. In accordance with the applicable statutes of the state of Illinois and the ordinances of the city of Prospect Heights, notice is hereby given that the city council regular teleconference meeting of the mayor and city Prospect Heights is being held on Monday, January 25th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. Mayor Nicholas J. Helmer presiding. This meeting will be recorded and available on the city's website. Attendees who wish to speak on the agenda or non-agenda items will be provided with an opportunity during the teleconference. There will be a 5-minute time limit for speakers, during which teleconference meeting it is anticipated there will be discussion and consideration of, and if so determined, action upon the matters contained in the following.
Thank you. Apparently we are convened and getting ready for a snowstorm. So shorter will be better tonight. Let's see if we can get through our agenda. It's not that long. And we can achieve some of the things that we would like to achieve. I think the first thing we need to do is make sure we have a quorum. So let's do a roll call, please. And let's start with Ward 1, Michelle Cameron, please. This is a roll call.
I'm here, Mayor. I'm here.
Thank you. Second Ward, Kathleen Quinn.
Present.
Please re-enter your meeting
I didn't hear that.
Present.
Present.
No, I heard you, Kath. I thought there was somebody else back there. Third Ward,
Sorry.
Wendy Morgan Adams.
I'm present, Mayor.
Thank you. Fourth Ward is vacant. Fifth Ward, Matt Dolick, Alderman.
Here.
Thank you, Matt. Treasurer, Richard Tibbetts.
I'm here.
All right. City Clerk, Joanna Prezniak is here. Stay
Yes,
here.
I'm here. I'm here, Mr. Mayor.
Good. And I'm Mayor Helmer, and I'm here. So let's go ahead with the fact that we have a quorum. 3 of the 5 aldermen constitute a quorum, and we do have 4, I believe. So we go on to the approval of minutes. Is our city administrator present, Joe?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. First item of business is approval of the minutes, A, from the January 11th, 2021 workshop, and B, January 11th, 2021 workshop executive session minutes. And if there are no corrections, additions, or changes, we will entertain a motion for approval.
All right, and it will be for A and B, Joe, or just A?
We probably should do it in sequence.
All right, call for approval. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? If not, let's have a roll call.
Alderman Morgan Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Dolick.
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Aye.
Alderman Cameron.
Aye.
Thank you. The minutes for January 11th, 2021 have been approved. Moving on to item B, Joe.
Yes, sir. And these are the executive session minutes from that evening.
Okay, these are the actual minutes then.
Yes, sir.
May I add, this is Deputy Clerk Schulteis, that we should probably put on there not for public release.
These are executive
Yes.
minutes? All
Yes.
right, not for public release at this time, anyway.
Yes.
So go ahead, Joe, call for the...
And if there are no corrections, we will entertain a motion for approval.
Good.
So
we
moved.
need a, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? There being none, the minutes are approved. Item 2 is taking.
We need a roll call, sir.
We need a roll call.
Right.
Well, there's a good idea. I didn't think of that. Hello, everyone. It's your mayor. Knows everything but forgets some things. Roll call, please.
Alderman Dolick,
Aye.
Alderman Morgan Adams,
Aye.
Alderman Cameron,
Aye.
Alderman Quinn.
Did I hear Alderman Quinn?
Alderman Quinn. She must be,
Who's on Moody?
Alderman Quinn, can you hear us? I think we lost her.
I can see her.
Yeah, we can see her.
All right. Well, we do have 3 people.
Can you hear me? I'm
Yes.
sorry, my Wi-Fi's going out, sorry.
Okay. All
We're
right.
doing a roll call, Kathy. Alderman Quinn.
I'm gonna hang up and call in. I'm gonna get off my Wi-Fi here.
All right. Just say yes.
Yes, I said yes.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to keep going, and you jump in when you can. Thank you. Joe, appointments, confirmations.
Yes, sir. Item 3A, we have the mayoral appointment of Danielle Dash as Alderman of Ward 4, and this had been continued from a previous meeting.
All right, thank you. Do we have Alderman Dash on the air?
I am
Alderman
here
Dash?
this evening.
All right, thank you. Short comments on who, what, when, where, and how, why.
Yeah,
It's in your-
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Good evening. Yes, my name is Danielle Dash, and I'm pleased to be here this evening. As you know, the mayor is seeking to appoint me to the 4th Ward Alderman seat that has currently been vacated. I have been a resident of Prospect Heights my entire life. My parents built their home here in Prospect Heights in 1978. They still reside in Prospect Heights in their dream home. I went to District 23 Prospect Heights schools. I eventually graduated from John Hersey High School and then went on to the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, where I studied civil engineering. I have worked in the residential construction industry for almost 25 years, and I moved to Prospect Heights in 2004 after marrying my husband, Jeff. We have 2 kids, ages 13 and 15. I think most importantly, though, I'd like to just mention that I have been serving the city on the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals for almost 10 years now. I have served since December of 2015 as the chairman of that board. I do feel that my education and experience has been instrumental in serving that board, and I certainly have enjoyed my time doing so. Again, longtime Prospect Heights resident. I chose to raise my family here. I have made the commitment to serve my city to date, and I think this will be an opportunity for me to continue serving the city and my residents here in the 4th Ward.
You have a degree in engineering, is that correct?
Correct. My undergraduate degree is in civil engineering with an emphasis in construction management and a secondary in soil mechanics.
All right, and you feel good about working with floods and drainage area, which we have a lot of?
Yes,
In your-
absolutely. It's something I'm familiar with.
Good. Good, all right. Questions from the Alderman? Go ahead, Joanna, take the roll.
Okay.
Well, first of all, we would need a motion.
Motion to approve the appointment of Danielle Dash as Alderman of Ward 4.
Second?
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. I'm not sure, John, if that's where I wanted to go for a moment, but we can do that. If we're gonna go ahead and vote right away, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, shouldn't we wait for Kathy Quinn to come back before you vote?
Well, that was my point, I think, but it's okay. I don't want to put it off on one hand, but we'll wait. What is it? Discussion. Yeah, okay, well, how about a discussion in the meantime, from anyone that wants to ask further questions? Alderman Dolick?
I have no further questions. I think that Danielle Dash has, with her history and knowledge, I think she would be a good addition to the aldermanic staff here. So I have no further questions.
Alderman Wendy Morgan?
I have no further questions. I agree with Alderman Dolick. I think that Danielle Dash has excellent qualifications, and she is a great candidate, and I think she'll do a great job for Ward 4.
All right, Alderman Cameron?
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, should we come back to this, John, or what's your procedural suggestion?
Mr. Mayor, Kathy is back on. Alderman Quinn is back on.
Come on. I was on the phone, I could hear you, but yes, you
Oh,
couldn't
good.
hear me.
Oh, good. So you heard Danielle's presentation?
I did.
All right, so we have, as you might have heard, passed down and asked if anyone has any additional questions before we go ahead with the vote. And you're the last person I'd like to ask if you have anything to add or ask of Ms. Dash.
Well, I do have a question. So, who's going to take over the PZBA projects with Danielle leaving that group right now?
Well, there'll be, an appointment at some time, quickly, I hope. But we have a quorum on the PCBA, so it's not an emergency in my mind. Let's get one thing done at a time.
So my other question will be, if she takes this position, will she recuse herself from voting on the Lexington projects and the TIFs that surrounded with that?
I'm sorry, are you asking if she can serve on more than the aldermanic slot? No, she cannot.
No, I didn't ask that question at all.
If she,
I asked
if she
if
at
she
this time,
becomes,
and if she wins at the election time. She can only hold.
Mayor, that was not my question. I understand this position is an interim position until the election. My question is, will she recuse herself from voting on the projects from Lexington and the TIF during these until the election?
This is Alderman Morgan Adams. She would have no reason to do that. There's no conflict with respect to Lexington. The only issue on Lexington, which has already been done and taken place, had to do with the issue of the zoning. So that's been done. I see no conflict for Danielle Dash with respect to any other issue regarding Lexington or the TIF. So seeing no conflict, I would see no reason for her to recuse herself.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
All right, am I back on the air? Anyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you're back on.
All right, thank you. Clerk Joanna, will you take the roll call, please?
Sure. Alderman Morgan Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Dolick.
Aye.
Alderman Cameron.
No.
Alderman Quinn.
No.
All right, so it's a tie on the floor. Mayor breaks the tie. The mayor votes yes. And let's move on unless there's anything else to do on that situation.
Yes, Mayor, this is John O'Driscoll. With the 3-2 vote, motion carries, and I would assume that we would go into the swearing in at this point. If
Yes.
that pleases, yeah.
Yes.
So with that in mind, Ms. Dash, if you could raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Danielle Dash,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
of 4th Ward Alderman for the City of Prospect Heights
of 4th Ward Alderman for the City of Prospect Heights
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And with that, you resign your spot to the PZBA, right?
Correct.
You can do that. Yeah. There's no conflict there. So that's great. I'm happy. We need a alderman that's knowledgeable about the problems that exist in Ward 4 and the problems that exist in the entire city with regard to flooding and drainage and other things. So I'm pleased, Danielle, and I know you'll serve well. You did a great job on the PZBA, and I think you'll do a great job as being an alderman. The election, of course, is in April, so you'll have to run for the office in April. I presume you're going to do that. So thank you.
You are correct.
Thank you. All right, our city administrator, Joe, could you explain paragraph 4?
Yes, sir. A public comment, and we'll hold these until the issue arises. Madam Clerk, is anyone filed for public comment on any agenda items?
No, Joe, thank you, nobody. But please, if anyone would like to speak, please introduce yourselves.
Thank you. And Mr. Mayor, that brings us to item 5, staff elected officials and commission reports. And we have 2 scheduled tonight, beginning with the monthly airport update from Director James Kiefer. Jim?
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Helmer, city councilmen, city staff, and visitors. As usual, I'm always pleased to announce that the airport is running well. Although we're going under a major weather event tonight and into tomorrow. And from our past experience, our operations have done a really fine job, and they will continue to do so tonight. A recap of the last year at the airport. Despite COVID, our operations are up 4% over from year to year, from 2019 to 2020. Fuel flowage was down 9.3%, and that is to be expected. We've rebounded really well, and we look forward to a great year. As people stay away from commercial aircraft, maybe they'll come to our airport more often. So that's always a good thing. We have many ongoing projects. One of them is the customs building, new building, and the footing is done. Underground utilities are going in as we speak. We're looking at completion of the building in third quarter. Then the Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol, they'll do their certification, and we hope to be open for business on fourth quarter. Our RSIP, Residential Sound Installation Program, has been delayed due to COVID. Not too many people, we didn't think it was appropriate to be in people's house during the COVID. Our target is 10 homes this year, and over 420 some people have signed up for the program. They'll go through testing. They'll go through a process, whether it's finding out what their loudest noises are and the continuous noise levels, and that's how they're determined if they qualify for any type of assistance on soundproofing their house. So that's going over well. The TIPS is Transportation Improvement Program for the airport, and we're waiting on the master plan to be approved by FAA. It seems to be not put on hold, it's just a long, tedious process, and it's holding up some certain things that we'd like to accomplish, including one is more drainage. As we hopefully build one more hangar, at least one more hangar, we need the corresponding retention possibilities. So you have to keep up with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. So that is going. What else is going on? Atlantic is one of our FBOs, fixed-based operators, and they're building a new hangar on Wolf Road at the northwest corner. Wheeling is taking care of that as far as permitting, whereas Customs goes through our city. I think that's pretty it in a nutshell. And any questions anybody would like, I'm free to answer them.
Please state your name and ask a question. Anyone? Jim, you can't get out of here with no questions. Are you ready for the snowplows and everything else is in good shape, and they all have gas in them, and things are going to work?
Oh, all the blades are sharpened, the brushes are ready, and we're ready to go.
Good. Anything else? I mean, this is a crown jewel of our empire here, the airport, and people have done a great job, and I really encourage them to keep doing what they've been doing all along, and we're supportive of the airport, as we've said many times before. So, Jim, nobody's jumping on the bandwagon, so thank you for coming over.
We appreciate the city council and the mayor's support, and we're looking forward to a great year. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, let's take a look at the other portion there, Joe, of the...
Oh, yes, sir. B is December Treasurer's Report by Finance Director Sherry Grafin.
All right, we were going to introduce the rest of the staff first, though, right? Under item 5, rather.
We can do that, Mayor. It's your pleasure.
Yeah, let's start with you. You're the city administrator. You're the big guy on the block. Let's hear something.
And yes, sir, I have no report, sir. Drive safely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Director of Building, Zoning, New Business, and whatever else we can tag on to his name. Dan Peterson.
Good evening, Mayor. This is Director Peterson. With the governor's new reduction in restrictions to Tier 1, staff today emailed and sent notices to all our food service establishments, and that of the new requirements of no more than 25% occupancy, and that they shall still maintain proper protocols of masks and separations during that time. And as we have always done, as soon as we get the information, we get it out in the hands of our business establishments so they can be on top of it as quickly as possible. Other than that, it's been a quiet couple weeks here, sir, and no further report.
All right, and our cannabis operation is open and selling, and we're going to be getting some sales taxes, I hope.
Yes, that is correct, sir. I did speak with their management team before about a week and a half ago, and they had a better than expected first couple of weeks, so they're hoping that their projections were conservative for us. So we won't know until that first quarter is up, and then when we get our first distribution, but all indications are is that it's being well received, and we've had no issues, no calls, no complaints, and the place looks beautiful.
All right, and the process of making money, the money from the establishment goes to the state, and then the state doles back the amount that we receive. Is that right?
That is correct, sir.
All right, can't wait. I'm excited. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Assistant City Administrator Peter Falcone, please.
Thank you, sir. No report tonight. Be safe, everybody out there.
All right. Got your snow shovel in your trunk, I bet. That'll be good. Public Works Director, Mark Roscoe. Mark, are you available?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Just a quick report. Hare Construction, who's been doing some sewer lining for us, is wrapping up. It was over 3,000 feet of pipe that was repaired in place without having to do major dig-ups during this portion of our sewer work. And of course, with the weather tonight, Public Works has been in winter maintenance mode, not only sharpening the blades like the airport, but today our crew was out looking at drainage areas where we have typical problems, because once this snow comes down, it's going to melt, and we've had winter flooding issues before. So we're keeping an eye on all aspects of it, sir. That's it. I hope everyone has a safe next couple of days.
Great, thank you. Police Chief Jim Zo.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no report other than the troops will be out tonight. I'm sure ready with their accident books and helping out any stranded motorists. So that's it.
Yeah, and I wish them well. We're looking forward to someone set up to maybe 10 inches. So the Finance Director, Sherry Griffin.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. City Council and Management Administration. Our report for December 31, 8 months of revenue and expenses, I'm pleased to say, is looking pretty strong at this point in the year. We are right on budget with our revenue at 67% over across all of our funds. We've maintained pretty strong position in receiving our income tax revenue, sales tax, use tax revenue from the state. Our budgets were really conservative, and as such, we are right in line with where we had predicted we would be. We did get some nice revenues this year, including the Rebuild Illinois grant, thanks to some hard work from our administration. We also did get the CARES grant money for COVID-19 reimbursement, and some of our property taxes came in a little higher than we had anticipated. So overall, our revenue has been really strong. We anticipate that to continue. There really is no anticipated significant shortages. We expect our vehicle sticker revenue, which is right now about 30%, to come through for us this quarter. We'll be selling February 1, the new year vehicle stickers, and expect to have that revenue fall right into place. I do want to commend our staff in the front office. Eileen's worked really hard in collection on our past due stickers. We've got about $100,000 in revenue from the 1920 stickers and those collection efforts. She worked very closely with Bob and Sarah in finance, and they managed to pull in some past due sticker revenue as well as late fees. Our late fees are twice budget. It's at $31,000, and our budget was only $15,000. So they've done a really great job in cleaning up our files and reaching out to our residents to be sure that everyone's in compliance. Our staff across the board, our directors and managers have been very conservative and held back on expenses wherever possible. So most of our departments are between 50 and 60% of expenditures. Again, that's another positive impact on our bottom line budget for this fiscal year. The report's included in the agenda packet as well as the detailed individual accounts, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer those at this time.
All right, questions, please, anyone?
This is Alderman Cameron. Sherry, you mentioned about the city sticker that's going to be out February 1st. Do we know what the sticker is going to look like? Because I didn't get no information on that.
If I can defer to Peter on that, he has placed the order. They have come in. Unfortunately, I haven't seen one. So, Peter?
Thank you, Sherry. Yes, Alderman Cameron. I didn't apparently. I apologize for those who didn't know. Treasurer Tibbetts may want to take this, but we wanted to honor the PHTV, so their logo is on the sticker. So if Treasurer Tibbetts wishes to say more about it, I'm sorry, I thought I got it out to everybody. That is my bad, but it's the PHTV logo. I don't think I'll be able to get it on here, but if Treasurer Tibbetts would like to say anything else.
I really don't have much else to say other than the fact that I augmented the logo along with some text and then turned it into Peter's for printing. So I thought everybody was given a copy of it. I really thought that we had distributed it in some way, but I may be wrong about that. I don't recall.
That's okay. I just didn't know what design was going to be on there, so I was just curious. But that's fine.
I can email it to you if you'd like.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll email it to everybody, as a matter of fact. How's that?
Okay. And then, Sherry, one other question is all the with the hotels and stuff like that. Are they up to date on what they owe the city?
All the hotels are up to date with their payments, with the exception of one. Still, the Hilton, we're waiting on some revenue reimbursements from the beginning of, I believe they're probably 6 months past due. So they were scheduled to begin payments in January. We've been in touch with them and we're waiting to hear back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, how about Joanna Krzyaniuk, our city clerk?
He's muted. Sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind everyone while we spend some time at home with the snow coming, please sign up for e-news. Lots of information about the city, helpful information during the pandemic. Use your smartphones to receive those e-news newsletter emails. Very, very helpful. And another reminder to watch Channel 7 for Comcast, and U-verse customers, please turn in 99. And support our local businesses. Please shop in, obviously, all our restaurants for any pickups. Thank you.
All right, let's get back to Treasurer Tibbetts regarding what we're talking about. Anything else you want to add?
Not on that front, Mayor, but I was thinking about something as the meeting was going on that I don't think I've mentioned in the past. You know, as treasurer of the Police Pension Board, there is something happening there with the finances. The state of Illinois has decided that all the pension funds are going to be consolidated as one, with for as far as management is concerned, and run by a board. I'm not sure if they've actually put that board together yet or not. They're a little behind in the timeline that they thought was going to take place, that this was going to take place under, but I believe it's going to be sometime during this year that our current independent fund manager will be out of work, basically, as far as we're concerned. Our funds would be transferred to the state. However, we will still have an account with the amount of money that we have in the fund, and of course, it will appreciate according to what the state is able to achieve through their investment board. So that's going to be a major change. However, of course, the police pension board will still do all other things that it's doing right now, and so we can keep you updated on how that's progressing. But that is something that's going to happen in the not too distant future, and that's all I have for now.
All right. Excuse me. Thank you. Our learned attorney, John O'Driscoll. John, anything you'd like to add?
Nothing to report right now other than there's a lot of stuff going to be coming down for employers, including the city, I presume, from the federal level in the next 100 days.
What's a lot of stuff mean?
Well, I mean, you're starting to see a lot of these executive orders, from transgender issues to there's talk of the minimum wage being boosted. Presumably, that's going to be $15 within the for federal workers and federal contractors. It'll be interesting to see if that has a trickle-down effect amongst the rest of the states. Variety of things along those.
All right, we'll look for reams of paper. Thank you, John. All right, Joe, are we back to you, or do you have a question?
Yes, sir. That brings us to item 6, the consent agenda. If there are no questions or comments, we can entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Dolick,
Aye.
Alderman Morgan Adams,
Aye.
Alderman Cameron,
Aye.
Alderman Quinn, Alderman Dash.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Is that right? 5-0. And we got that settled. So go ahead, Joe.
Nothing for item 7, old business, which brings us to 8, new business. Resolution approving an agreement between the City of Prospect Heights and the lobby companies to provide tax increment finance analysis of the Prospect Point Muir Park Tax Increment Finance District proposal. Mayor, this actually goes back to last year when the City Council authorized the study for this. And at that time, you might recall that I prepared the council that at some point it would be valuable to have an objective third party to analyze and report to the City Council about this proposal. As we all know, there are a few challenges to developing this property in Prospect Heights. First of all, we do not have city water, so it's not as if the project was being proposed in neighboring communities. Because of not having city water, there are additional costs for well, fire suppression, and related costs that need to be reconciled within the project. The consultant's work, part of it would be to analyze that and to ensure that the request for assistance from the developer is valid. That's one side of the equation. The other challenge that Prospect Heights has is being a non-home rule community. This is a pay-as-you-go or a performance tip. The money that goes to the developer or to public improvements, and we've recognized sidewalks, stormwater management, Muir Park rehabilitation as area public improvements. That's not going to be done based on a note or a bond by the city. It's going to most likely be in the latter years of the TIF and to pay those items. Through the Joint Review Board process, that's a process followed by state law, and certainly the both districts, school districts 23 and 214, as well as the fire district, would like to see some revenue and some income coming from the TIF. The challenge is with other communities, for example, Arlington Heights or Mount Prospect, that's paid up front. Now I go back to this. The request is for certainly a per student support, financial support, and that's also regulated by state law. State law provides for that, but there's a sliding scale. So communities have a choice to go to the ceiling or to a level below the ceiling. But additionally, the school districts are also seeking what might be considered a developer contribution or donation, and also what is considered an impact fee. Now, Mayor, in some cases, cities have that within their ordinance. The city of Prospect Heights has an impact fee calculation for the library, the fire district, and the park district, but we do not have that for the school district. Some towns do have that. We know area communities, for example, Arlington Heights has it, but Mount Prospect does not. And then a third method that in some cases school districts pass those ordinances on their own accord. So that's an issue that we have, but at any rate, to get to the bottom line, what staff is proposing tonight is the contracting with an objective third-party consultant to review the Lexington proposal and validate that, and then also to look at the revenue, the increment revenue stream from the TIF, to see what that might be able to contribute to the school, both school districts 23 and 214, as well as the fire district. And certainly, Mr. Mayor, this is a capability that's beyond what staff does. We recommend Michael Laube of the Laube Companies. He's very much experienced in this area. This is what he does for a living. And that's the agenda item tonight. I'm going to ask Dan Peterson. Dan, Mayor and Council know, has worked on this project for, well, actually a couple years now, really, going through some of the early analysis of application and zoning and so forth, and working with it through the Plan Commission. Dan, is there anything else that you would like to share about this agenda proposal?
Just a couple small things. It's just, and we are all aware of our drawbacks in our residential community in terms of lack of public water system, which will end up being probably the largest financial impact on the TIF to provide potable water, the fire suppression and hydrant system, and fire life safety issues to all the new residences within the Muir Park Prospect Point development. And there are other infrastructure costs as well, plus ours. And the biggest issue is that it may seem like this is going to be a lot of money asked for. However, we don't know what the long-term, what that's going to look like. I kind of apply to a mortgage on your home. It may be $5 million to collecting out front, but if you borrow $5 million over time, that cost may be significantly higher. You know, you take out a $500,000 mortgage, you're paying a whole lot more than $500,000 at the end of that term of that mortgage for your home. So what we have to look at is to make sure that all the expenses that are being proposed to this can be handled by the TIF, and make sure that, A, the developer can do the work that they need to do, the infrastructure we need to get done, all our improvements, and make sure that there's adequate funding available for the other taxing bodies. And Mike Laube has a wealth of experience of that. He is a member of the Illinois TIF Association, finance officers. He's been in this field for numerous times, representing both municipal governments, developers, school districts, and clients, and has a wealth of knowledge. And we feel comfortable with Mr. Laube working on behalf of the city to provide us just another set of eyes to make sure that we are following good financial stead with this TIF. And that's all I have at this time. Thank you.
And Dan, just to follow up, I want to stress this is a very common practice to have a third-party consultant analyze both the assistance request from the developer as well as to evaluate the ability of the TIF to pay increment to other districts to address capital improvement needs over time. This is very common.
That is correct. In every municipality I've worked at, the municipality that I've worked for has hired our own consultants, as a third set of eyes, verify the information and confirm and make sure that we're all on the level playing field. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Any questions or comments on the TIF program?
Morgan Adams, I just want to comment. I think this is a really good idea to have this independent evaluation. We have a lot of competing, interests involved, and there is concern about the cost, the increased interest costs over time, and I think we need to know and have an independent determination of the proposal from Lexington in terms of the expense and the cost, and how we're going to be able to deal with all these other impact requests by the other districts, the fire district, the school district, and to be able to know how to deal with those issues. So I think it's really important we do this and get an independent evaluation.
Wendy, I lost you.
I'm sorry. Did you lose my last comment? I don't know where I left off there. I was saying that I was in favor of having this independent evaluation for due to the fact that we need to have a determination of an evaluation independently regarding the proposal by Lexington, the cost factors, because of the increased interest costs that we may have to undergo, and to deal with all of the different districts, the fire districts, school districts, and the other districts requests for fees and impact expenses. So we need to know how to deal with that, how to work with them, how to compromise these issues, and to be able to know that what we're paying is appropriate with respect to the Lexington proposal. I hope I didn't freeze up again.
I heard you.
You're good, Wendy, but I think we lost the mayor.
Oh.
I'm checking now.
Question for Joe Wade.
Sure.
The firm, is it normal for them to be lobbyists also? He's a paid lobbyist. Is that normal in this type of consulting firm?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's an area that, it's, first of all, it's a very, specialized area of expertise.
Yeah.
And it's also an area, there's, almost annually, there's proposals for, legislation to change the laws. So I suspect that's what it's referring to, but, good catch on your part, seeing that in his background.
Joe, I still do not see the mayor.
Okay, well, we may have technical difficulties, so maybe we should continue. It's unknown when we'll get him back.
I blame AT&T.
Joe, I think it would be, can we give him a few more minutes and perhaps even give him a buzz?
I can't really tie up this line, but thank you. Somebody else can call him, that'd be fine.
I'll try.
If somebody has that capability.
And this is Alderman Dolick. Just a point of clarification. This is the resolution is just to approve the hiring of lobby companies to assist in this.
Dee, are you there?
Oh, there he is.
So you want to finish up what you were talking about? We didn't get any of it here.
Matt, is there, Alderman Dolick, is there more to your question?
Yes, I was just clarifying that this is a resolution to hire lobby companies to assist in this in terms of information. This has nothing to do with the TIF proposal itself or any of the specifics of this. Is that correct? I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, sir. That is correct. We've got quite a bit of work to do, and this is an essential part of the work.
Right. Thank you. I just wanted to be clear for everyone what we are proposing here.
Yeah, that's a good clarification.
Okay, Wendy, did you finish up what you were talking about?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I did. Thank you.
All right, do we have anyone else that has not spoken yet, or would like to speak, rather? So, Joe,
if there are no further questions, we can entertain a motion for approval of item 8A.
And that's to hire, is that right?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. Any further comments or questions? There being none, take a roll call, please.
Alderman Morgan Adams?
Aye.
Alderman Dolick?
Aye.
Alderman Quinn?
Aye.
Alderman Cameron?
Aye.
Alderman Dash?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Joe, you've got a couple of second readings here on 6A and B, just on B, but...
oh, yes, we've approved that, and we've approved 8A, which brings us to discussion topics for this meeting.
When you say this meeting, you mean the next workshop meeting or tonight?
Yes, actually, sir, if there's anything you would like for a workshop for the next time, we'll add that to the agenda.
Well, I can quickly say that term limits have been on my mind for years, so if we can resurrect that, that would be fine with me. Anyone else want to add? We usually take 3 topics. All right, there being none, add mine, please. And then, Joe, I didn't hear us allow people to speak after the presentations were made on these subjects.
And yes, sir, that we did not have anybody file. We checked with Clerk Nashuk. but we do have coming up later in the agenda, public comment on non-agenda matters.
All right.
But to follow the sequence of the agenda, which brings us, if there's any other discussion of 9, and if not, we can move to item 10.
All right, that's your call. Go ahead.
Okay. Council members, if there's no further discussion for 9, Madam Clerk brings us to 10, approval of the warrants.
Okay, thank you, Joe. The total for the warrants was $149,291.88. We also had wire payments on July 15th, 2021. Payroll posting amounted to $171,543.47. And on January 21st, 2021, we also had a police pension funding that amounted to $84,814.62. So the total warrant amount is $405,649.97 for council's approval.
Motion to approve as presented, the warrants.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. Further discussion on the warrants or the amounts? All right, there being none, Joe, go ahead.
Which brings us to item 11, public comment on non-agenda matters.
Hold on. Excuse me, Joe.
Yeah.
Did we get a second on that motion and the roll call vote?
Matt was the second.
Yeah,
okay.
We need a roll call, right?
Go ahead, call for the roll.
Alderman Dolick,
Aye.
Alderman Morgan Adams,
Aye.
Alderman Quinn,
Aye.
Alderman Cameron,
Aye.
Alderman Dash.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now we can move on.
Okay, back to me. Item 11, public comment on non-agenda matters. Has anyone registered?
And if not, please come forward. Please introduce yourself.
And if there is no one, we can move on to item 12, which we have no executive session. We have no action on executive session matters, and which would bring us for consideration of mayor, council, and others, 14, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Well, I always like to say all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye.